Hey everyone, it's YouTube Tuesday and it's finally Christmas time. Who's excited? I go overboard. I'm going to admit to you now. And today we have a great classic Christmas picture book and a wonderful craft that's super easy to go along with it. So let's get started. Today we're talking about the book, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever by Barbara Robinson. And I have a novel version that's for older kids. It's a chapter book, and that's the original version. And I also, today I'm going to be showing you the picture book version that's illustrated by Laura Cornell. And this is a story that I love. It's got a very sweet message. I would say that the chapter book is probably for early elementary school kids, first grade through even fourth graders are probably young enough to enjoy this. And then the picture book is for preschool, kindergarten. And this is the story about the Herdmans. And they are known as the worst kids in the neighborhood. Here's a little quote from the picture book. There were 6 of them: Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Claude, Ollie, and Gladys. They were skinny and stringy-haired and dirty and all different sizes, with all different black and blue places where they had clonked each other. And the story is told through the eyes of kids at their school who live in a very nice, traditional nuclear family. And the Herdmans don't. You never actually even see the Herdmans' parents. I don't know where they are. And the Herdmans find out that at Sunday school at church, they give out candy. So the Herdmans show up to Sunday school one day for the very first time. And it just so happens to be the day that they're giving out parts for the annual Christmas pageant. And all of the Herdmans get parts. And the church is pretty much upset with this because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't consider these to be good Christian people, and they don't belong there. But what I love about this book is it shows that Christians don't look a certain way, that everyone has good inside them, and that you shouldn't judge people based on their appearance. Because it ends up being, like the title says, the best Christmas pageant ever. So check this book out. It's got a great message. It's what I want to teach my kids during the holiday season and all year round. So let's get started on our craft. I decided to make a little mini manger scene, and I only made Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus, but you could actually go further with this and make wise men. You could make animals, donkey, sheep, whatever you wanted to do. But for today's craft purposes, I made these 3 characters. So here's what you need. You need felt, you need glue, and you need 3 wooden blocks. And I found these at a craft store near me. They're really cheap. They need to be thick enough because the craft store had thin ones and they had thick ones. These need to be thick enough to be able to stand up on their own. So when you're at the store, make sure they can stand up by themselves. Okay, and here are the colors of felt that you're going to need. You're going to need orange, kind of a skin tone brown, white, dark blue, dark brown, light blue, yellow, and gray. You can kind of play around with those colors, but those are the colors that I used. Okay, now, I'm not an artist and I'm not perfect, so don't stress out. This is supposed to be cute. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. So let's get started. Here's what I did for Joseph. Here's his body, and it's basically, a round on one end, flat on the other. I did 2 small squares, and those are going to be his sleeves. And then his hands are basically 2 circles put together. Okay. And here's his headpiece. It's got a half circle and then 2 longer rectangles in gray. And then I actually used, that's a little bit of ribbon that I used to be the headband. here's his head and his beard, which is just a circle, and a bigger triangle to be his beard. And then I used a little bit of the skin color to do a little triangle that I put on top of the beard to be like his mouth. Okay, so I layered his body and I glued that onto the block, and then I layered his head. Then I put the sleeves on the sides and the hands in the middle. I did the sides of his head scarf, and then I did the half circle on top for his headscarf, and then the band of the ribbon. I put his beard on, and then I put the little mouthpiece on top of the beard. And then I just went in and I drew 2 eyes, and I used a little bit of the extra gray felt and some of the extra blue ribbon and made a little bit of trim on his sleeves and the bottom of his outfit. Okay, and there's Joseph. Okay, for Mary, let me explain how to make Mary's body. I basically drew 2 ovals, a bigger oval, like right side up, and then another oval that's smaller on its side, if you can tell what I did. Doesn't have to be exactly like that. I wanted her to look like she's kneeling, so that's what I did for her. You could, if that's something you don't want to deal with, you could easily make a body just like Joseph's in blue, and it could be Mary. Okay, so I cut blue felt with that, and also a square for her sleeve. Mary, I cut her head and one hand because you're going to be seeing her from the side, like she's kneeling next to the baby. And then out of the light blue, I cut her veil, which basically is like half a banana, half a banana shape. Okay, so you glue her body shape onto the block, add her head and her hand. Notice that the head it's not directly on top straight, it's like over to the side a little bit. Okay, and then on top of the hand, I glued her little square sleeve, and it's just enough for the hand to be poking out. Then I glued the veil, and then I had a little extra lace from a sewing project a while back, and I just thought it looked cute, kind of dress up her outfit there. That is purely optional. Okay, baby Jesus in his manger. Here's how I'm going to explain to you the baby Jesus shape. He's basically a white peanut, little peanut shape, with a little circle in the skin tone for his face, and I made a little yellow halo. The manger is basically a big rectangle this is out of the dark brown, a big rectangle and 2 little rectangles. And then I used the yellow to make hay by basically just doing zigzaggy, almost like a half sun shape. Okay, glue the big rectangle and the little rectangles to the block, then layer on the yellow hay, then put your baby Jesus, glue on his little face, and draw 2 little eyes, and layer on the halo. And there you have it. I think this would be really sweet in a windowsill. I think it would be really sweet on your holiday table, your dining table. And I love this because I have so many Christmas heirlooms that I put way up on a shelf so that my kids can't touch them because they're breakable. This is totally kid-friendly. If my 4-year-old grabs this and starts playing with it, it's all good. It's not going to break. Well, thank you so much for listening, guys. If you like what you hear, please follow me. Please subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on Instagram at Book Tomato Kids Books, and check out my blog, Book Tomato Kids Books, booktomato.net. Have a great day.